If you'd told me a year ago that I'd be hiding in a dark hallway at 2 in the morning just to catch my stepbrother sneaking out, I would have laughed in your face. But here I am, clutching my phone, heart pounding, feet freezing against the old wood floor. My name is Tessa, and I used to think my life was ordinary. I thought I knew who I was and who I could trust. I thought secrets only lived in movies or on the internet, somewhere far away from small towns and secondhand families like mine. Was wrong. Because sometimes the person you barely notice, maybe even the one you don't want in your life, turns out to be the person hiding the biggest secrets. And when you find out, you realize you can't tell anyone, not even your own mother. Let me start at the beginning, or at least the beginning of the end. It was supposed to be a fresh start. That's what my mom kept saying anyway. Tessa, give it a chance. Adam and his dad are good people. Families change, but it can be good. You'll see. What she meant was her new husband and his son were moving in, and I had no say in the matter. My bedroom would now be across the hall from a total stranger, a guy 2 years older than me, with dark hair always falling into his eyes, and a hoodie he wore in July. Adam, my stepbrother. We weren't close, not at first. I mean, how could we be? We tiptoed around each other in the kitchen, shared awkward glances over burnt toast and mismatched coffee mugs. He barely spoke. I barely tried. But I noticed things. I noticed everything, actually. Adam wasn't like other guys at school. He wasn't loud or cocky, didn't play sports, never brought friends home. He kept to himself, sometimes too much. He'd vanish for hours, even on weekends, coming home late with dirt on his jeans and that same haunted look in his eyes. I asked Mom once if she knew where he went all the time. She shrugged, distracted, and said, "He's independent. Let him be." But she didn't see the way Adam watched the world, like he was always waiting for something to go wrong. The weird stuff started small. A locked drawer in his desk, a padlock on a battered blue box under his bed, his phone always on silent, except for the one night I heard it buzzing after midnight, shattering the quiet. I wish I could say I wasn't curious. But I was. The night everything changed, the house was silent except for the creaking pipes and the whisper of wind through my open window. I was scrolling mindlessly through my phone, trying not to think about school or my mom's new rules or how lonely I suddenly felt in my own home. Then I heard it. A soft click, the unmistakable sound of a door opening. Footsteps, careful and slow, padding down the hallway. My door was open just a crack. I barely breathed as I peeked out. It was Adam, his backpack slung over one shoulder, hoodie zipped up to his chin. He moved like he didn't want to be heard. I watched as he paused at the top of the stairs, listening, glancing back once, right at my door, as if he knew I was there. I froze. My heart hammered in my chest, loud enough I was sure he'd hear. But he didn't stop. He crept down the stairs, disappearing into the darkness below. I knew I shouldn't follow him. I knew it was stupid and risky. But something about the look on his face, a mix of fear and determination, made me move. I slid out of bed, grabbing my phone, and tiptoed after him. Downstairs, the kitchen light was off, but the back door was cracked open. I slipped outside, the cold air biting at my bare arms. Adam was already halfway down the driveway, heading for the street. He didn't see me. Not then. I trailed behind, my breath visible in the moonlight, my fingers numb with adrenaline. Adam stopped under a streetlight, pulled out his phone, and dialed. I was close enough to hear his voice, low and urgent. "No, I told you not to call here. I can't talk long. Did anyone see you? Just stay where you are. I'll come soon. Don't let them in." My stomach twisted. Who was he talking to? And what did he mean, "don't let them in"? He hung up, shoving his phone deep in his pocket. I ducked behind a parked car, praying he wouldn't turn around. For a moment, I considered calling Mom. But what would I even say? That her new stepson was out in the middle of the night, whispering threats into his phone? Instead, I waited, heart racing as Adam disappeared down the street. The night swallowed him whole. I snuck back inside, heart thundering. I lay awake until dawn, replaying every moment, every word. What was Adam hiding? Was he in trouble? Or worse, was he the one causing it? By morning, Adam was back. I heard the shower running, smelled coffee in the kitchen. When I came downstairs, he was already at the table, eyes red, fingers wrapped tight around his mug. We didn't speak. Not about the night, not about anything, but something had shifted. I could feel it. A crack in the surface, a secret threatening to spill. I watched Adam from across the room, and for the first time, I wondered if I really knew him at all. There's a point when secrets get so big, you can't keep them to yourself anymore. But sometimes you have no choice. Because telling means ruining everything. I didn't want Adam to be my brother. I never wanted this new life, or the tension that filled every silence. But now, I'm the only one who knows the truth. Adam is hiding something huge, and I can't tell a soul, not even if it destroys us both. They say if you go looking for trouble, you'll find it. But I wasn't looking for trouble. I just wanted to understand Adam, my stepbrother, my stranger, the boy I'd been told to call family. After that night, the world felt different, quieter somehow, but charged, like the air right before a thunderstorm. Adam moved through the house as if nothing had happened, but I couldn't unsee the tension in his shoulders or the new, careful way he locked his bedroom door. Days blurred, together in awkward silences and clinking dishes at dinner. My mom tried too hard, making jokes that fell flat. Adam's dad worked late, barely speaking except to remind us to turn out the lights or lock the door. I told myself I was imagining things, that Adam was just different. But late at night, the questions burned through my mind. Who was he talking to? What was he protecting? Why did I care so much? 2 days after I followed Adam into the darkness, I couldn't take it anymore. It was midnight, again, when I heard it. The familiar buzz of Adam's phone muffled through the thin wall between our rooms. I sat up, pulse pounding. His shadow flickered under the crack of his door. Then, a whisper, barely audible. I slid out of bed, tiptoed to my door, and pressed my ear against the wood. I said I can't tonight. No, you don't understand. It's not safe right now. Just wait, okay? Please. I promise I'll help. The way his voice broke on that last word sent a chill down my spine. Something wasn't right. I knew it in my bones. I glanced at my phone, thumb hovering over Mom's number. But I didn't call. I just waited, listening as Adam paced the floor, ending the call with a strangled, "Don't do anything stupid." A moment later, his door creaked open. I bolted back to bed, holding my breath. The floorboards groaned as Adam moved down the hallway, heading for the bathroom. I counted to 30, then crept out, feet silent on the cold floor. His room was dark, but the door was unlocked, a first. I hesitated, then slipped inside. Adam's room was a map of secrets. A tangle of clothes on the floor, a battered backpack by the bed. And on the desk, half hidden under a hoodie, a small black notebook. My hands shook as I picked it up. Pages and pages of cramped handwriting, lists of names, phone numbers, addresses I didn't recognize. In the back, a folded sheet of paper. A map of our town with circles and arrows drawn in red pen. What was Adam doing? Footsteps echoed in the hallway. I dropped the notebook, diving behind the bed as Adam stepped back in. He didn't turn on the light. Instead, he went straight to the desk, ran his fingers over the surface, then paused, sensing something out of place. I tried not to breathe. Every second stretched into forever. Finally, Adam sighed and sat down on the bed, back turned to me. His phone buzzed again, and he answered, voice shaking. I said I'd call when it's safe. No, not yet. Don't trust anyone, okay? Not even them. I'll text you when to meet. I didn't recognize the fear in his voice. I wanted to say something, wanted to stand up and ask, "Are you in danger?" But I couldn't. Not yet. When Adam left the room again, I slipped out, heart racing. The next morning, Adam was quieter than ever. He didn't look at me once at breakfast. Mom prattled on about weekend plans, but I barely heard her. All day at school, I couldn't focus. My mind replayed every word I'd overheard, every name in that notebook. Were these people Adam was trying to protect? Or were they threats? I was so deep in my own head that I almost missed the message that arrived on my phone at lunch. Unknown. Number: stay away from Adam. This isn't your business. My hands went cold. I scanned the cafeteria searching for anyone watching me, but everyone looked normal. Too normal. Was this a prank? Or was someone really watching us? My stomach twisted. I thought about telling a teacher or even Mom, but something stopped me. I didn't know the whole story. Not yet. That night, I waited until everyone was asleep. I crept down the hall, listening for Adam's soft breathing. His door was locked this time. I pressed my ear to the wood. Nothing. I needed answers. The next day after school, I tried to talk to Adam. He was in the backyard, hands stuffed in his pockets, eyes fixed on the dying sun. I stood beside him, heart in my throat. Adam, can I ask you something? He didn't look at me. Not a good time, Tess. I stepped closer. Are you in trouble? That got his attention. He turned, eyes searching mine. Why would you think that? I heard you last night, and the other night. If you need help, He cut me off, voice tight. You don't understand. I'm not the one who needs help. I wanted to shake him. Then who does? Adam looked away, jaw clenched. Let it go, Tessa. Please. But I couldn't. Someone texted me today. They told me to stay away from you. His head snapped up. For a second, real fear flashed in his eyes. What? Who? I shook my head. I don't know. An unknown number. Adam went pale. Delete it. If anyone else tries to talk to you, don't answer. Don't follow me. Just stay out of it. He started to walk away. I grabbed his sleeve, desperate. Adam, please, I want to help. I don't want you to get hurt. He stopped, back still turned. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Finally, he said, so quietly I almost didn't hear, some people don't have anyone to help them, Tess. Sometimes you have to be the one who tries, even if it means lying to everyone else. Then he slipped away, leaving me with 100 new questions and no answers at all. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, mind racing. I thought about Adam's words, about the notebook, about the unknown number watching us. From the dark, I wanted to believe Adam was a good person, maybe even a hero. But heroes don't hide. Heroes don't get threatening messages. Heroes don't shut out the only people who care. But maybe they do. Maybe sometimes being brave means keeping secrets, even from the people you love. Maybe it means risking everything, just to help someone who needs you, even if they never say thank you. I didn't know if I was ready for Adam's truth, but I was done pretending not to see it. If he wouldn't let me in, I'd find my own way. I used to think the worst thing about secrets was the not knowing. Now I'm not so sure. Sometimes the truth is even heavier than the questions. Sometimes you wish you could go back to the moment before you learned anything at all. But I couldn't unsee the signs. I couldn't unhear Adam's voice, trembling, with things left unsaid, or forget the look in his eyes when I said I wanted to help. I knew there was something in this house I wasn't meant to find. I just didn't know how far I'd go to get the answers I wanted. It started with a whisper, a memory I couldn't shake. I was 10 when Mom first showed me the old basement, back when it was just the two of us and everything felt simple. It's nothing special, honey, she'd said, flicking on the single bare bulb. Just boxes and dust. No monsters down here. But monsters don't always hide in the dark. Sometimes they hide in secrets, and sometimes in the people you think you know. That afternoon, after school, I wandered the hall with a purpose I hadn't felt in weeks. Adam's warning from the night before echoed in my mind. Delete it. Stay away. Just stay out of it. But he'd been scared. Not for himself, for me. I knew that now. I waited until the house was empty. Adam was out somewhere. He didn't say where, and I didn't ask. Mom and her husband were at work. The silence felt thick, almost daring me. Downstairs, the basement door was always closed. But today, it wasn't locked. The air changed as I slipped inside, cool and dry and smelling of old cardboard. Shadows flickered on the cement. My footsteps echoed as I reached the bottom of the stairs. That's when I saw it. A door in the far wall, half hidden behind stacks of paint cans and boxes marked Christmas. It was new. A heavy metal door, out of place in our sagging old house, and it had a padlock. Adam's padlock. My heart pounded. I knew I should turn back. But the questions pulled me closer. I reached out, fingers brushing cold steel. The lock wasn't latched, just hooked through the hasp, ready to snap shut. My hands trembled as I pulled it free. The door creaked open, revealing a space smaller than my closet. But inside, I sucked in a breath. Taped to the walls were maps of our town and the surrounding woods, covered in notes and arrows. On a rickety table, a laptop hummed beside a burner phone. Files and notebooks lay scattered everywhere. A single battered chair sat in the middle like a command center for a secret mission. I stepped inside, careful not to touch anything. The tension in the air was almost electric. I flipped through a notebook on the table. Names I didn't recognize. Dates and times, phrases like pick up 6 p.m. and safe house, were scribbled in Adam's writing. I found a crumpled photo. 3 kids, maybe a year younger than me, smiling nervously at the edge of a playground. On the back, in Adam's careful print, they made it out. 412. The truth clicked into place. Adam wasn't running from something. He was running to something. Helping someone. Helping a lot of someone's. Was Adam rescuing people? Hiding them? I heard a sound upstairs. Floorboards creaking. The front door opening. Panic seized me. I darted behind a pile of boxes, clutching the notebook to my chest. Footsteps on the stairs. Heavy, steady. Adam. He entered the room, not seeing me at first. He sat heavily in the chair, head in his hands. I know you're there, Tessa, he said, voice flat. My stomach dropped. I stepped out from the shadows, guilt burning my cheeks. I just wanted to know. I wanted to help. He didn't look up. You shouldn't have come. I couldn't hold back. Adam, you're helping people, aren't you? He let out a slow breath. Sometimes I try, but it's never as easy as it looks. I looked around the tiny room. Who are you helping? He rubbed his face, exhausted. People who can't go to anyone else. Kids from school, neighbors, sometimes someone online. If they need a place to stay or someone to talk to or just to get away for a night, I try to be there. I stared at him, understanding and fear swirling inside me. Why you? Adam met my gaze, finally. His eyes were raw, unguarded. Because no one ever did it for me. I know what it's like to be scared and alone. I can't save everyone, Tessa. But sometimes I can help. It was too much. I sat on the cold floor, hugging my knees. That's why you're always gone. Why you're so tired all the time. He nodded. I wish I could tell Mom or Dad, but it's complicated. Some parents wouldn't understand. Some would make it worse. A heavy silence settled over us, then softly. Do you hate me for not telling you? I shook my head. No, I wish you hadn't had to do it alone. He almost smiled. You're braver than you think. Tess. I swallowed hard, fighting tears. Who sent that text to me? His jaw clenched. Probably someone I tried to help before. Not everyone wants my help. Not everyone trusts me. You should stay out of it for real. But I couldn't. Not now. I reached for his hand just for a second, letting him know I was with him. You don't have to do it alone anymore. We sat there, brother and sister by law and now by choice, surrounded by secrets neither of us could fully explain. The world outside the basement felt far away, almost unreal. Then Adam's burner phone vibrated, loud in the hush. He read the message, color draining from his face. It's happening again. I need your help. Now. He shoved the phone into his pocket, eyes meeting mine, pleading. Stay here. Don't get involved. I stood up, shaking my head. Not a chance. Adam hesitated, then nodded once. Okay, come on. We left the secret room together, hearts pounding, walking straight into whatever came next. For the first time since this all began, I wasn't just a bystander. I was part of Adam's world now, and I wasn't going to let him face it alone, even if the truth was messier, scarier, and bigger than I'd ever imagined. The secrets weren't just his anymore. They were ours. And I had no idea what that would mean. There's a kind of fear that feels electric, sharp and bright, like you could light up the world with it. That's how I felt as I followed Adam up the basement stairs, out of the darkness and straight into the unknown. I'd made my choice. There was no going back. Adam had let me in, finally, and now whatever he faced, I'd face too, even if it meant getting caught. Even if it meant learning things I'd never be able to forget. The house was silent, the sky outside turning violet and silver as night fell. Adam grabbed his jacket and threw one at me too. Put this on. If Mom asks, you're with me at the library. My hands trembled as I zipped it up. Are you going to tell me what's happening? He hesitated, pulling his hair back from his eyes. I don't know everything yet. Just that someone needs help. She texted me an address, says she's in trouble, and she can't call the cops. He said it like it was the most ordinary thing in the world, like helping people hide was just another part of the day. But for me, everything was spinning. I tried to steady my voice. Who is she? Her name's Ivy. She's a sophomore, lives with her uncle. I think he's not a good guy. Adam's jaw tightened. She called me once before. I got her out, took her to a friend, but she went back. Now she's scared again. We slipped out the back door, careful to avoid the porch light. Adam walked fast, tense and silent. I kept close. Every shadow on the street feeling too long. Every face in the windows a possible threat. Ivy. Lived on the edge of town, in a house that looked empty except for a porch light burning against the darkness. Adam scanned the street before knocking. 3 quick raps, a code I didn't know. The door opened a crack. Ivy peered out. She looked smaller than I expected, with tangled hair and eyes swollen from crying. Adam spoke softly. It's just me, and this is Tessa. She's safe. Ivy stepped back and we followed her inside. The house smelled like old socks and something burnt. I tried not to stare at the piles of laundry or the cracked TV screen. Ivy barely looked at me. Her hands were shaking as she grabbed her backpack. He said he's coming back tonight. I don't want to be here. Can you take me somewhere? Anywhere? Adam nodded. Of course. We'll go the long way. He won't see us. We left through the back, hearts pounding. I heard a car in the distance, headlights sweeping over the street. Adam pushed us into a hedge, pulling Ivy close, his eyes scanning for danger. The car passed, no one inside. We moved quickly, ducking through alleys, cutting across backyards. My chest hurt from running, but I didn't say a word. I kept looking at Ivy, her terror, the way she clung to Adam like he was the only thing keeping her above water. When we finally reached the bus stop, Adam checked his phone. We have 5 minutes. Bus will take us to Lily's place. She knows Ivy. Ivy looked at me, eyes wide and searching. Why are you helping? I surprised myself by answering before Adam could. Because you asked. Because you deserve to feel safe. For a moment, Ivy's mask cracked and I saw a flash of something raw. Hope, maybe, or just relief. The bus arrived and we climbed aboard. Adam sat beside Ivy and I sat across from them, heart still racing. Every time the doors opened, I tensed. Sure, someone would storm in and demand to know what we were doing. But no one did. Lily's house was small but warm, the kind of place where every mug was chipped and blankets piled high on the couch. She hugged Ivy tight, whispered something I couldn't hear, and led her inside. Adam thanked Lily, pressing something into her hand, a folded note, probably directions or a number to call if things got bad again. We stood on the porch in the eye. Cold night, breaths misting in the air. I looked at Adam, seeing him not as the strange, silent boy who moved into my house, but as someone brave, someone who carried other people's fear so they wouldn't have to. He caught me staring and tried to look away. "You okay?" I shook my head, but I was smiling. "I think so. Are you?" He shrugged, tired. "Never am. But that's not what matters." We walked home in silence. Every step, my mind raced with questions I'd never thought to ask before. How many times had Adam done this? How many secrets did he keep buried to protect people like Ivy? And why? Had I never noticed? When we got back, the house was dark. Mom had left a note on the counter. "Home late. Pizza money in the jar. Don't wait up." I poured us both a glass of water, hands still shaking. Adam sat at the table, staring at nothing. "Do you ever get scared?" I asked. He looked up, surprised. "All the time." "Then why do it?" He hesitated, then shrugged. "Because I know what it's like to feel trapped, to need someone and have nobody come." His voice was so soft I almost didn't hear him. "If I can be that person, even once, it's worth it." I wanted to say something big and important, but words felt small, so I did the only thing that made sense. I sat beside him, let the silence stretch, and let him know he wasn't alone. The next morning, everything felt changed. We moved through the house like partners in a secret. I saw Adam differently now, not as an outsider, but as someone who belonged to my story as much as I belonged to his. But secrets have a way of following you. At school, I found a note stuffed into my locker. The handwriting was jagged, rushed. "You think you're helping? You're making it worse. Stay out of things that aren't your business." My heart hammered. I scanned the hallway, suddenly sure everyone was watching. I wanted to show Adam, but I couldn't find him. Instead, I tucked the note into my pocket and forced myself to breathe. I wasn't the same girl I'd been a week ago. I wouldn't be scared off so easily. That night, I waited for Adam outside his room. When he opened the door, I handed him the note. "Someone left this for me." He read it, jaw tight. Probably someone who knows what I do, or someone I tried to help. Some people don't want help, or they want revenge. "Are we in danger?" My voice was smaller than I wanted. He didn't answer right away. "I don't know. But I won't let anything happen to you." I believed him. We sat together in the hall, not speaking, just listening to the house settle around us. For the first time, the secrets didn't feel so heavy, not as long as we faced them together. But somewhere in the dark, I knew the story wasn't over. Not by a long shot, because secrets, once they're shared, have a way of changing everything. And some nights, the real danger is just beginning. Some secrets are like storms. You can sense them coming, taste them in the air, but you're never really ready when they break. I used to think the worst part of knowing Adam's truth was having to keep it hidden from everyone, including Mom. But the real test, I'd learn, was protecting it when the world came knocking. That Friday, the whole house felt tense, like it was waiting to exhale. Adam barely ate breakfast. I watched him pick at his toast, eyes fixed on some distant point, shoulders coiled tight. I tried to act normal. School, homework, dinner plans, it all felt paper thin. There was a message I wanted to share, a warning humming under my skin, but every time I opened my mouth, it got stuck behind my teeth. After dinner, Adam vanished into the backyard. I gave him space, but after half an hour, I found myself drifting outside, drawn to the quiet tension that seemed to ripple around him. He was pacing, phone in hand, thumb hovering over the screen. "Another message?" I asked softly. Adam looked up, startled, then nodded. "Different number this time, same threat. I think someone's watching." A shiver traced my spine. "What do we do?" He glanced at me, his fear barely hidden. "Nothing. We just keep our eyes open. If anything happens, you run. Promise me, Tessa." I shook my head. "Not without you." A muscle jumped in his jaw, but he didn't argue. For a moment, we stood there silent, watching the shadows grow longer across the lawn. That night, I dreamed someone was knocking on every door and window, demanding to be let in. I woke in a sweat, heart racing. A faint glow spilled from under Adam's door. I crept out and knocked softly. "It's me," I whispered. He opened up, looking older and more tired than I'd ever seen him. "Can't sleep?" I shook my head, eyes falling on the notebook open on his bed. More names, more secrets. Adam saw me looking. I keep thinking if I could just help one more person, maybe the rest would leave us alone. I sat beside him, voice barely a whisper. "You don't have to do this by yourself." He gave me a sad, crooked smile. "It's easier to hide when you're alone." I shook my head. Maybe, but it's harder to survive. For a long time, we sat in silence, the world outside hushed and waiting. Then Adam's phone buzzed. One word on the screen. "Outside." We froze. He showed me the message, then motioned for me to stay back. He moved quietly to the window, peering through the blinds. A car idled across the street, headlights off, the silhouette of someone in the driver's seat. Another figure outside, walking toward our house. My blood turned to ice. "Adam," he held up a hand. "Stay here." He slipped out of his room and padded down the hall. I followed, ignoring his silent plea to stay put. Together, we watched from the darkened living room as a man circled our porch, pausing to peer into the windows. My heart hammered so loudly I thought the man might hear it. Adam's jaw was clenched. "That's Ivy's uncle. He's looking for her. He must think she's here." I sucked in a breath. "Should we call the police?" Adam shook his head. "No proof, and he'll be gone before they arrive. He knows how to scare people without getting caught." I balled my fists, helpless and angry. The man circled twice more before stalking. Back to the car and driving away. I turned to Adam. "We can't let him keep doing this. Not to Ivy, not to anyone." Adam's eyes flashed, scared, then determined. "We won't." The next morning, the world seemed colder, but a strange resolve hummed between us. At school, Ivy caught my arm between classes. Her eyes were wary but grateful. "I heard he came looking for me." "Did he hurt you?" I shook my head. "We're okay. He just wanted to scare us." She bit her lip. "He never stops. I wish I could make him go away." I wanted to promise her everything would be fine. Instead, I squeezed her hand. "You're not alone anymore. That's all I can promise." After school, Adam found me at my locker. "I have to do something. Ivy's not safe until he's gone." I hesitated. "What are you thinking?" He looked around, then leaned in. "Lily's mom works for child services. I'm going to talk to her. Ivy needs a real adult on her side. Someone who can make it official." I felt a rush of pride and worry. Isn't that risky? Adam's smile was brittle but real. Everything's risky. Doing nothing is worse. That night, Mom came home early. She called us into the kitchen, her eyes flickering between Adam and me. "I need to ask something," she began, voice careful. "Has anyone been bothering you? Anyone strange hanging around?" Adam and I exchanged a glance. For a split second, I almost blurted everything out. The secrets, the late-night phone calls, Ivy's escape. But I bit my tongue. The truth felt too fragile, too dangerous to set loose in the open. "We're okay, Mom," I said, forcing a smile. "Just school stuff." She looked unconvinced but didn't press. "If you ever need to talk about anything, you can, you know." "That right?" I nodded, my heart aching. I wished I could tell her, but I couldn't risk it. Not now. After she left, Adam leaned against the counter. "You know, for a while, I thought I'd have to do this forever. That I'd always be alone. With all of it." "You're not alone anymore," I said. He smiled. Real this time. "No, I'm not." A week later, Ivy's uncle was gone. Lily's mom had filed a report. Ivy was living somewhere new, somewhere safe. Adam watched from the background as Ivy started to smile again, lighter somehow, like she'd set down a heavy bag. At home, Adam and I settled into a new kind of silence. Not the tense, tiptoe around each other quiet from before, but something softer, something safe. The world hadn't changed. There were still shadows at the edge of every day, still secrets tucked into the corners of our house. But I'd changed. I'd learned what it meant to be brave, and that sometimes bravery meant keeping someone else's secret, even when it hurt. On a rainy night, as thunder rattled the windows, Adam knocked on my door. "Can I show you something?" he asked. Nodded, following him down the hall into the old basement, past the hidden door. Inside the secret room, everything was as before: maps, notes, files. But there was something new on the wall. A photo of Ivy, beaming, arms wrapped around Lily. Adam pinned it up, stood back, and grinned. Not every story ends badly. We stood there, just the two of us, surrounded by proof that secrets can save as much as they can destroy. "Thank you," he said quietly. I looked at him, brother in all but blood, and realized I wouldn't change a thing. Not the fear, not the risk, not even the lies. Because some secrets are too big for one person. And the bravest thing you can do is carry them together. The storm outside raged on, but inside, for the first time, I felt safe. And I knew, no matter what happened next, I wouldn't let Adam face it alone. End.